Hello everyone, this is the guy behind the scenes helping Andrew the Crafter. We're going to show you tonight how to build a Minecraft server on your Windows machine. Now you can do this on a Windows machine, you can do this on a Mac, you can also build a server on a Linux machine if you have one. And you're going to learn about Minecraft server, you're going to learn about Linux, you're going to learn about virtual machines, and you're going to learn a little bit about Webmin. But most of all, you're going to have a working server after what we do here. Now, there are a few things that I'm not going to show you, but I will talk about them. So let's begin. The first thing you're going to want to do is download all the software you need. The first place to start is VirtualBox. VirtualBox allows you to create a computer on your computer. So in this case, we're going to create a server on our computer. I recommend a computer that you're using be powerful enough to do this. This software's been around for a while, so you don't need the most extreme power. But if you're going to be playing Minecraft and having a Minecraft server going, you're going to want a powerful machine. I have an i7 with plenty of memory. So here we go. In here, you just go ahead and download your whatever operating system you're on. If you're on Windows, OS X, Linux, or Solaris, which I'm pretty sure you're probably not on if you're watching this. So we're going to go to Windows Host, click it, it downloads. And the next thing we're going to do is download Ubuntu server, and you can Google that. Look at the address up here. Either one of these are fine. Go ahead and I have the one I'm going to use tonight is LTS version. If you want to read up about that, you go right ahead. I'm not going to cover that in this video. So download that. It's a very large file. I think it's about 600 megabytes, so it's going to take a long time to download for you out there that have a slow connection. The next thing you want to do is download your Minecraft server software. It's really small. This is a jar file. So when you download it, you might have to right click on it and save link as, or when you do download it, depending on what browser you're in, it might come back and say, hey, this file is probably not safe. Do you still want to keep it? And of course, you say yes, you'll want to keep it. This little snippet down here, I'm going to get into that a little bit later, so don't worry about that right now. So right now, you should have downloaded your VirtualBox software, you've downloaded your Ubuntu server, and you've downloaded your Minecraft software or server. Those are the main components. And as we go through and build this, I'm going to go right through the entire build process. You'll see how it all works. So the first thing you're going to want to do is install your VirtualBox Manager. And as you can see, I have two servers here already, or two systems. We're going to go ahead and just click on New, and we'll type in Minecraft Server. And make sure that this says Linux, and if you have a 64-bit system, which most computers out there nowadays are 64-bit, should be fine. Go ahead and crank this up if you've got memory. As you can see, I've got 8 gigs of memory, so I'm just going to put this at, I don't know, you could be safe. I'll just put it at 3, somewhere around 3,000. And just go ahead and leave that as a default. Create your virtual hard disk. Leave that as a default. Dynamically allocated. And this is where you want to be careful. So we're going to call this Minecraft server, and that's fine. Press on this little yellow folder icon. Make sure you put your file, you're going to save this file. This is a very large file. This is going to be the core file of your server. So when we get done building the server, it's just going to be one file. So what you're going to do is put it in the root of your C drive, or put it on, if you have a D drive, put it in the root of your D drive. You'll make a folder on there called Virtual Server. That way, if you ever get rid of your computer, before you do, you can go ahead and copy that server to another location. It's going to be a big file, but at least you can take it, move it to another location. And Linux and Ubuntu that we're installing is very flexible, so it can go from one machine to another machine somewhat easy, sometimes not. I'm not going to bother getting into this, but this right here is the size you're going to create. It's easier to go in and make your size now than try to resize it later. So we're just going to bump this up to, let's say 80 gigs. I mean, you're not going to need that for the Minecraft server. Minecraft server is very, very small. Even after we've run our Minecraft for the last 6 years now, 5 or 6 years. We did it right from when they came out with it. And the biggest thing is the logs. If you do modding on the server, so if you have different Minecraft servers on that server, so if you, with different ports, and I'll be talking about that in a little while, it's going to get big, but it's not going to get anywhere near your 80 gigs. Unless you become, Minecraft Central or something like that. I'm sure you're going to be careful then. So go ahead and hit create. And there we have that. Here's a Minecraft server. The first thing you want to do is go into settings and go down to network. Make sure you change NAT to bridged, the bridge adapter. And it'll pick out your bridged. What that does, it allows it to get out to the internet if you're on the internet. Go back to general. I'm just going to go through these tabs. You can just see there's nothing particular that I'm setting in here. The processor, if you have a pretty heavy duty processor, you want to up it one, go ahead and put 2 CPUs in here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Display, that's nothing. Now the storage is where you're going to add in that ISO file you downloaded for Ubuntu. I'm going to go ahead and press plus. Choose. All right, so here we're going to go ahead and choose our ISO. And there it is. So when we start this server, it's going to automatically launch that ISO file. It's just like if you remember CD-ROM drives, sometimes you could put a CD in there and boot off the CD. There used to be live things. So just make sure that you have this bridge adapter, and everything else you can leave as is. We'll click OK. And then we'll right click and you can go ahead and start it. Do a normal start. One thing to remember, it's saying up here, it says, hey, if you capture the mouse, you have to hit the Alt button. So since this is a Windows machine, on my keyboard, if I hit Alt or Control, it'll release the mouse. Sometimes it'll get caught in there. So we'll go ahead and go through this. I'll try to make this bigger for you. Not that it helps. But so we're going to choose English, install Ubuntu. We'll go through this entire process so you can see and do English, United States. No, English, US. One thing to remember when you're going through this process is that this video that I'm making is with the latest and greatest software that's out there today. This video could be old in, say, 2 years from now when they come out with a new version of Ubuntu or a new version of VirtualBox. So you're going to want to not always follow what I'm showing here, but I'm choosing all the defaults and everything, so this video should apply to systems going forward for a long time. And Ubuntu is a very good platform to install. There is CentOS, there's Red Hat, and everything else. So now your host name can't have any spaces in it, and you don't want to make any capitals in it. So craft server, we can call it like that. We'll call it Minecraft server, SVR. And this is going to be the main user account that you're going to log in with. So I'm going to call it ATC for Andrew the Crafter. That's his name. And that's the name. All right, let's choose a password. So go ahead and choose your password. And it's going to ask you to encrypt your home directory. Don't bother. It's just going to make a mess for you and a lot more difficult for you later. Again, you're going to use this for a virtual machine, so you're going to turn it on when you want to use a server. And it says, all right, you're in New York. Yes, that's fine. And you could be living in Georgia and it thinks that you're in New York, so it's just the time zone. That's what it's asking about. All right, here we're going to go ahead and use the entire disk and set up LVM. And it's choosing the one hard disk that we set up. And again, since this is a virtual machine, we don't mind writing over the entire disk because it's a virtual disk. And it's asking how much to use, and yes, go ahead and use that. And we choose yes to write over the partitions and everything. So another thing you can do with this server, and I'm going to go ahead and choose the options to install them, is you can set this server up as a LAMP server. If you want to go, they call them MAMPs now, or WAMPs, or The common name out there is LAMP, LAMP, like a light. You turn a lamp on and off. What the LAMP server will allow you to do, it'll install some extra software for you. So it'll install a software called Apache. It'll install a SQL server, which is used for databases. And I'm not here to scare you with these other things, but it'll set a foundation on the server for you and software on the server for you in case you want to take it a step further. And the cool thing with the LAMP install, your Apache, your database software, is you can go ahead and run a website off of it. You can host your own website off of it, which is really neat. And that's something to think about. So you can go and create that. You can install a WordPress site, a Joomla, or whatever, just to learn about how to install websites. So you can use a server for multiple things, which is really nice. 99% of the people I know do not have a proxy. So if you're installing this at a corporation, for example, you might need one. Or if your parents set up a proxy for some strange reason, then you're going to want to put that information in there. For a proxy and a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, you have Google. Go ahead and do your research. But a proxy, I might as well talk about it while we're waiting for the install. Right here, select this. Install security updates automatically. Just like your Windows machine, if you're on Windows, it automatically updates. So here's the LAMP selection. So right here, we're going to go ahead and choose LAMP. And since this is a virtual server, I wouldn't bother choosing the Samba. But if this is an actual physical server you're installing this on, if you're watching this video and you have an extra computer laying around and you're installing this on the extra computer that you're only going to use for Linux or Ubuntu server, then you can go ahead and choose this. And what that allows you to do is to have your Mac or your Windows machines connect to this server through a network share, which is really neat. But in this case, I'm not going to bother with that. And open SSH. That'll allow you to get into your command prompts. So we'll go ahead and hit enter. And it's going to go ahead and install all that software for you. It's a lot easier to do it now than do it later. All right. Well, not mandatory. It's highly recommended that you set a password for the MySQL administrator. So let's go ahead and set a password. As you can tell, I'm typing in something really complex there. So going back to the proxy, what that is, it's a computer between your system and your cable modem, your internet connection. And when you have a proxy, you can use that for a security measure. You can use it for a lot of reasons. You can use it to track all the traffic that's going in and out of your system or your internet. So if you have kids and you want to protect them, you can lock out certain websites with it. A lot of people will say, I can use my router for it and I can do this. That's fine too. But it's just it's used a lot more on a corporate level than it is at a home. So it's nothing to worry about. Going back to the website, if you wanted to host the website off a server, say this is you wouldn't use this really on a virtual server. You would use it more on a physical server at your house. Is install Ubuntu, like I am, and install your LAMP. And there's plenty of how-tos out there on the internet how to use LAMP to set up your own website. So it really gives you a chance to get into that realm of how it's all done in the back end instead of going out buying a hosting service and learning how they do it. So if you really want to get into it, it's really fun. It can be frustrating at times when something doesn't work, but with the LAMP install, once we're done here, we could actually go right out to those servers' IP address and the Apache landing page will come up automatically. So it's really cool to see that. Then you have to go in, find out where and what to change to make your website work. It seems that this is a new installation operating system on the computer. If so, it should be safe to run the Grub. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and install the Grub bootloader. And if you want to learn about Grub bootloader, go ahead and look it up online. Like I said, Google's your friend. YouTube is also your friend, because if you're watching this and you're following this, it's just that easy to watch and learn. Or if you like reading, go ahead and read. There's a lot of information out on the internet about Ubuntu and LAMP servers, but it could be for version 14, it could be for version 12, it could be for version 10. So be very careful when you're out there trying to get something to work. I wouldn't just sit there and Google Ubuntu can't make website work, can't make Minecraft work. Try to look at that information, but always try to put your version number in here. Like in this case, we're using version 16. All right, our installation is complete. We'll hit continue, and it's just saying, "Hey, take the USB drive out, or the USB thumb drive if you have one installed." As you can see, it's bypassing the ISO we have mounted because it realizes that that's not needed, and the server's starting up. So there's another program you'll want to download. It's called Putty, PUTTY.exe. It's free. It's easy. Actually, I'll show it to you real quick. And just go right to the website here, and you just download this 32-bit version. It doesn't matter. I don't think there is a 64-bit version. It really doesn't matter. It's just a console window, but it allows you to get into your system. So here we are. We'll go ahead and log in and password. And there we go. Now we're into our server. So the first thing you want to do is type in IFCONFIG. And what that does, it gives you our IP address. And you can see that it's 192.168.254.135. Now that IP address is not the IP address you want to share with anybody outside of your house. It's useless to them. They can't get into it. So what you could do now is go into your router, and this is a section I'm not going to show you how to do, but basically go into your router configuration. And if you're not sure how to get into your router configuration, consult your manual, consult an online documentation. There might be videos on it. So go look at the router. You have a cable modem probably, or a DSL modem, and then you have your router. It's a wireless router. Sometimes it's all in one unit. And if you need to get into it, you might have to call your cable company or your DSL company to get into it and make these changes. But what you need to do is go in there and open port. Allow traffic to go through a certain port. It basically opens the firewall to that port. If you're afraid about it, you're scared about it, that's completely fine. But go ahead and open up port 22565, and that's the default port for Minecraft. So let's move on here, and this will allow you to get into your server. You don't need to download the server version, but just the client. And they have this for the Macintosh. They have it for Windows. That automatically detected I'm on Windows, so it's going to download this client. And you can see they have it for Linux as well. We'll go ahead and connect to our FTP, and we're going to upload our files. And again, you want to. This is where you come in. It comes in with an IP address. So you download, install FileZilla or another FTP client if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and set this up real quick in my FTP software. And I suggest you watch some videos on how to use FTP client, because I'm not going to show you my screen here just yet, but I will once we open the connection. It's really simple. It asks you for a host name. That's where you're going to put your IP address in. Mine's that 135 address. And the port you leave blank. The protocol, I'm just going to talk you through it. I know you can't see it. The protocol is going to be SFTP, not FTP. So it's just SSH connection. SSH connection. And the username you're going to login type is going to be normal. The username is going to be what we used, and the password. And when you go to connect, you're going to see a screen that looks like this: unknown host key, etc., etc., etc. go ahead and check this box and click OK. And let me get to, all right, here we go. So the thing that we're going to look at here is, here's all the files that I downloaded. Here's my Minecraft server, here's the Ubuntu, and these files I'll get into a little bit later. So here we're connected to our server, and you can see it goes right to your home folder every time you log in. You can modify that for later. So here's all our folders, here's the files and folders that we have on our Linux server. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and launch your program called PuTTY. And we're going to type in our IP address again. 135, and the port 22 is the default, so let's go click open. And what we're doing is we're logging in, logging into our server we just built. So there's two ways to do it. You can use it right through Ubuntu, or you can use this. It's basically just sitting right in front of the same screen. And I'm going to go ahead and create a Minecraft folder. So we're going to do cd /, and that puts us in the root of the server. We're going to do ls-l, and you can see here, let's expand this, so you can see all the files and folders just like we saw on the FTP server. So the first thing we'll do, we'll go ahead and create our Minecraft folder. I'm going to go ahead and create this right in the root. So sudo mkdir /, so you're telling it it's going to go right in the root, Minecraft. It's going to ask you for your user account password again. Do ls-l again so we can list the directory. And there it is. There's our Minecraft folder right here we just created. Now the next thing you want to do is give it permissions. So type in clear the screen. Type in chmod R 777 var. And what that does, okay, so what I just did there, I made a mistake. What I didn't use was the command sudo, S-U-D-O. That sudo is telling the server, hey, you know what, use the top permissions, somebody with root access, somebody with the big permissions. So click that, or press that, and now if we do ls-l, you can see our Minecraft is now green, at least in the SSH client or the PuTTY client, and you can see all these little DRX, RW, RXXX, whatever. That is saying that folder has complete full permissions. Anybody can do anything they want to that folder right now, which is fine for right now. Nobody's connected to our server. It's not going to be compromised while we're building it. So I refresh my screen. Here's a Minecraft folder, and what we're going to do is we're going to send over the Minecraft software. This is the server software we downloaded. And this EULA is a file I'll show you in a minute. So now that we have that over there, all right, this is what we're going to have to do to install Java. We'll type in sudo apt-get space install space default-jre. And we'll go ahead and hit yes. And what it's doing right now, it's installing all of Java. I'm going to go ahead and show you one more thing while this is installing in the background, is how to install this software called Webmin. This is a really cool tool to go ahead and manage your server from a GUI standpoint. All right. So our Java is done installing, and we're going to go ahead and do our Webmin install. So follow these directions on this website, and this sudo, or not sudo, but nano, N-A-N-O, is a text editor, and you can see all the commands on the bottom. You use your control key to use them, like control W will help you find things. And in these directions you see, it tells you to do to paste this information in here. Now you can see I only did one line, so I'm missing one. I'll go back and get the other one. I don't know why it's being like that. Copy. And this is the nice thing about PuTTY in Windows. You can, and I think in the Mac too, you can go ahead and just copy and paste. In the Mac, you would use SSH to in a terminal window instead of using PuTTY like you do on Windows. At this point, I'm going to hit Control X, and it's going to say, do you want to overwrite? You say yes, hit enter, and there you go. So that file has been updated now. The next thing you want to do is accept these keys. Just copy, paste, and hit enter. So it ran the first one automatically because there was a carriage return, which is an enter key, and then you just hit enter for the second line. So that accepts the keys. The next thing we want to do is it's going to do the apt-get update. Basically, it tells it to go out to the server and say, hey, find me the latest version of everything. All right. Said, okay, so we had a problem with the apt-get. So if you could remember what we're doing here, we're always putting sudo in front of all of our commands. And you can see right here, this apt-get update, I didn't do that. So let's do sudo apt-get update. There you go. It's working. All right. Now our next thing that we had to do is that second command. And you can see the -y on here. It basically automatically installs it without asking you. And as you can see, permission denied again because I did not put the sudo in there. sudo. There you go. And this will give you, instead of just trying to find out what's going on with your server, this will give you a really nice interface to see everything that's going on with your server. And I'll show it to you in a little bit. I'll walk through on how to set that up. So while we're waiting for this to install, the other thing I wanted to mention is your Minecraft server. If you're going to leave it up all the time on your virtual server, it might be a good idea to go out and buy a used computer, like the dual core or something that can run your server for you, instead of hosting it on your one machine all the time. Probably pick up a used desktop for $20 to $40. Okay, so our webmin's all set up. Okay, so here we are. You're going to type in the address, 192.168.254.135, 10,000. It's colon 10,000. And as you can see, it picked up the name already, so it's Minecraft server. That's what we called it. And it'll probably say error. That's fine. So just click on this, and it automatically tries to run under HTTPS. It's going to give you this error connection. I'm using a Chrome browser. Other browsers might come back and say, oh, it's not safe. You can't use it. Just click Advanced if you're in Chrome and proceed to Minecraft. Now you can change this so it doesn't ask, you don't have to go through that every time, but in this tutorial I'm not going to bother with it. So this account is the one you set the server up with. Go ahead and sign in. And here we have it. Very nice dashboard. Nice layout. Alright, so the first thing you can see here are these little gauges. This is a CPU, how much processor it's taken up, the memory, virtual memory. These items will go up when you launch your Minecraft server. But look, the first thing you're going to want to do is go in here to package updates. And you see how they're already checked. There's 99 of them. Scroll down and we'll go ahead and update select packages. And click install now. I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up for you. Reboot. We're going to do sudo reboot, and it automatically reboots our server. Alright, so we'll go ahead and log back into our webmin, and you can see our processor is just right up there at 50%. Doesn't matter if we hit dashboard again, guess what? It probably goes down. Nope, it didn't. So anyway, your package updates, they're all installed. There's nothing new. That's good. Your system's up and running. Just to get back in here, I'm not going to show you anything else in here right now, but this is the basic layout. If you need more information about Webmin, go ahead and look it up on Google, of course. Let's get back to the Minecraft server itself. So in our previous steps, we went ahead and opened the server so we could go ahead and upload Minecraft server. The next thing you're going to want to do, and I'll show you right here, is run your Java software. So we're going to go ahead and we can copy and paste this command here. We'll go into our folder, and there's our file, our Minecraft server. So we're going to go ahead and right click, and that automatically pastes that command we just got off the website here. As you can see, the command we got off the website and the actual files is different names. So we're going to type in the name 1112. So it says Minecraft server 1112.jar, and this should be it. As you can see, it says this XMX 1024 meg and XMS 1024. That's just saying that's going to use 1 megabyte. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to type in sudo because it'll give it full permissions to run. Alright, so this is the first time we've run it, and this is what you should see. You need to agree to the EULA, the End User Licensing Agreement, in order to run the server. Go to the EULA text for more details. So I've already downloaded mine, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you how to download it. So in here, you don't see the files. Just go ahead, right click, and do a refresh. And there it is, EULA. I'm going to go ahead and download it. I'm going to go ahead and overwrite the one I already have so you can see what it looks like. In the download, I just right click and download, and I said go ahead and overwrite. We'll right click on it, and you can open it with Notepad. I use Notepad++, so if you want to download Notepad++, go right ahead. And in here you can read the directions, and it says put in the word true. A lot of people make a big mistake here and just type in this, TRUE, and said, why is Minecraft not working? Well, if you notice, this is all in capital letters, TRUE, not lowercase. So TRUE will save you from a lot of headaches if you use capital letters. So we'll go ahead and close that and go back to our server, right click and upload. And it might fail, and I'll tell you why. Alright, so did it pass? No, see this says 9:11 p.m. and this one says 9:10. You want to know why? Over here in the permissions, you see it says read, write, read, and read. It won't allow you to delete, so you can't overwrite it. So we're going to go back into PuTTY again, clear, so you can see what happens. And if you press the arrow up key on your keyboard, you can go through all the commands you've run. And in this case, we want to go back to that chmod we did earlier in the video and run that again. Now if you come back in our FileZilla, right click, refresh. Now we can overwrite it. So let's download or upload that again. Go ahead and overwrite, yes. So if you get on this side of the screen is your local machine, on this side is your server machine. And if we look over here, now it's on 9:12, it says, for the file that when it was updated. So we have the good file. I'll go back in here, and I'll type in clear again. I'm only typing in clear, you don't have to, just to clear the screen. And we're going to run this command again. Alright, there it goes. And it's building our server. Yay! And it's going to bring it online too. So you can go ahead and start playing right now, but before you do, alright, so it says done. And we're going to hit Control X a few times. And Control C. And stops the server. Good. So go back here to FTP again, and we're going to refresh. And there you go, it's built the server. Now our server's not running. We're going to go ahead and download our server.properties. Go ahead and overwrite. Yeah, that's fine. We'll overwrite the one I already had here. And we'll go ahead and edit it. And in this case, I'll use my Notepad++ to edit the file. And this is where you set up all your settings for your server. Allow the nether, yes. Game mode false or true. Game mode 1 or 0, I think 0 is PvP. So you can do whatever you want in here. You can even get creative with your name. So it says a Minecraft server, so you can say ATC's awesome Minecraft server. And you can also go up to the port. So say if you want to have 2, maybe 3, maybe 10 different servers running all on this one server. So you have a Minecraft server that has this vanilla Minecraft. You want a Minecraft server with a Pixelmon setup, because you know that requires extra mods on and requires Forge to run. So you're going to want to have that set up. So that's all going to be in a different port, because every server has to have its own port. So that could be port 66, port 77, whatever you want to do. In this case, we're just going to leave it at the default 25565. The Max World side, you can change all these settings, and I encourage you to go on to Minecraft's website. Go to Google and type in Minecraft server properties and learn about each one of these properties. I'm going to go ahead and leave everything as is. You can even change the max players to 20,000 if you want. Of course, if you had 20,000 on a virtual server, you can almost guarantee it's going to crash before it even gets close to that number. But you can crank it up and make it look cool. Go ahead and just, like I said, we're going to leave it at default. And we're just going to exit. No. So if you did make some changes and you wanted to save it, go ahead and upload it again. Like I said, I'm not going to bother with it. The other thing you can do on here is your whitelist, which is in that server properties. And if you whitelist people, you go ahead and you're going to want to modify this file, this whitelist.json file. If you have banned IP addresses or banned players, you're going to want to modify those. The problem is if you're going to ban them, or if you're going to ban players, you're going to have to find out not only their name, but their unique ID that comes from the Minecraft system, the Mojang servers or wherever they're coming from. So the best thing to do is go in here, you look at your logs, there's a log folder here, and download your log. I just double clicked on it and it downloaded for me. You can see that right here. And if you look at your log, we'll go ahead and open it with my Notepad++. It tells you what's going on with the server when it starts up. So every time somebody connects, it connects with their username and it shows a unique ID. So say if you're in Minecraft and you're the op, you go ahead and do /ban, the user. It'll come up and it'll automatically put it in your banned your banned JSON file for you. So that's just more stuff for you to learn later. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and set your server up so every time you turn your server on or you start your server, it automatically launches Minecraft for you. So you don't have to sit in here and type a whole bunch of commands in. So to do that, you're going to have to write a bash script. That's what it's called, bash script. As you can see, there's one right here. It's called start.sh. So a .sh is a file that bash would understand. And I'm going to go ahead and you can go ahead and create one. Just open up, if you're using Windows, you open up Notepad. If you're using a Mac, go ahead and use your favorite text editor you use on there. In my case, I downloaded Notepad++ for Windows. I'm going to go ahead and use that. And this is a really basic startup file. And you can see what it does here. It goes to the Minecraft folder automatically. This is stuff you don't have to have in here, but you can leave it in there. Because this pound sign really means this, when it runs, it ignores this section. And then you go ahead and type in that Java command that we had from the website. And you can see I have mine set for 2 gigs each with a no GUI. And go ahead and save that, and we're going to go ahead and upload that. So now that's over here, It should be on our server. I'm going to type in clear and ls-l, and there's our start.sh, which is right here. So let's try starting it sudo, and we're going to do a bash command, so bash, and then start sh. And it came back with a couple commands I found. Don't worry about it. You can go ahead and make that change if you want. And you can see here, it started our server. It's on port 25565. Again, you're going to want to go into your server's firewall and set that so it allows that to go through. And you can see it's created your area and it's ready to go. So we'll go ahead and hit Control-C, Control-X, and now we're going to go ahead and go into our system here. I'm going to click on System, Cron Jobs, and we're going to go ahead and create a cron job. And what a cron job is, it's a scheduled job. So create a new scheduled job, and you're going to run this as root, R-O-O-T. I know a lot of people out there that have been in the business for a long time say, oh, you shouldn't run it as a root. But in this case, you're running this on your local machine, it doesn't matter. It's just for security reasons. If you're not worried about security, I'm not worried for security because I only turn my virtual server on when I play it. Alright, so go ahead and switch this to when the system boots. So when it turns on, it's going to kick this off and it's going to start your server for you. Go ahead and hit create. And there it is down here, sudo minecraft start sh. So the next thing you're going to want to pay attention to is this right here, running processes. And let's take a look. I stopped the server, so it's not there. I'm going to start the server. I'm going to start the server just to show you what it looks like. So our server started now. And in here, you don't see it, but I'm going to click on it again so it refreshes. Now you'll see it in here. Right here. Java. So this is running our server right now. And what you can do is after you reboot your server, come in here and see if that process is running. If it is, your server is running. Obviously, another way you can look to see if your server is running is launch Minecraft and try to connect to it. So if you get to a point where the server's not responding, it's crashed, something like that, go ahead and reboot it. But if you really want to get into the details, just click on this. Mine's 3002 right now. It's just the process ID. It changes every time you reboot. And you can choose kill, and it would kill the server. So we'll hit kill. And we'll go back in and look at, see, I killed it. So the server is no longer running. And you can go ahead and run it again. I wouldn't recommend running it through PuTTY because if you go in here to PuTTY and try to run it, once you close PuTTY, it'll stop the server because it's running the PuTTY. So don't worry, don't do that in here. Alright, so now we have our Minecraft server all set up. So let's go hit clear, sudo reboot, and I'll just do a -F so it forces it. I wouldn't recommend using the force command, but in this case, I'm in a hurry and I don't know why. We'll go ahead and watch it shut down and watch it start back up. So if you're reading all this cool information on the screen, that's great. You can learn about LSB record, and you can learn about the slice system Getty. I don't know. Just rambling on here. Alright, so our server's back up after a reboot. And like I said, let's go back into the Webmin console. And you can see our CPU is really low right now because even though we have a login process or login prompt and it says, hey, I'm ready to go, there's a lot of things still starting up in the background. So we'll hit dashboard again. And it's still pretty low. And what we can do is go here to system, back to running processes, and look for that Java. And I don't see it here running. Uh-oh. What happened? It didn't kick off for some reason. So what we're going to do is go back to our cron job. Go back to the Minecraft one we created. And the one thing we did not do is we did not test. So let's go ahead and run now and see what it does. Uh-oh. It says command not found. Let's go ahead and reconnect and find out what happened. Now the only reason I'm doing this is to give you an idea of how to troubleshoot your Minecraft server. And this is our command that we tried to run. So let's try it from here. Sudo I can't do that. You guys know why? I'll tell you why. Because you can't execute it without giving it the proper permissions. So let's type in our sudo chmod -r777 /Minecraft. Alright. Let's return to our cron job and let's try running it one more time and see if that fixed it. Oh, look at that. It's running now. Yay! Alright, so we've proven that it works. Now if I get out of here, if I get out of the screen, it will basically stop your server, your Minecraft server. So let's go ahead and reboot. Sudo reboot. And of course it disconnects, but we can watch it on our virtual machine here. We'll watch it boot up. And just think, guys, we're almost done. Or ladies, who's ever watching. Go back in here to our server. And we'll click on dashboard, see what the difference is now. Ooh, our CPU is a little higher, and so is our memory. I wonder what could be running. Let's go into system and running processes. And I have a feeling there's something called Java in here. Here it is. Yay! Alright, let's go ahead and start up Minecraft and connect. We'll go ahead and minimize this. Now you remember your IP address was the 192.168.235. Hit multiplayer. And let's add our new server. New ATC server. Yay! Alright, so 192.168.254, 135. Now again, I'm telling you this IP address is for internal use only in your house. So if you have other people in your house, they'll be able to get to this address. This is usually a default address out there, the 192.168. It could be 254, it could be a 1, it could be anything. Or it could be a 10 dot something. Those IP addresses are internal use only. So if you have an IP address on the outside of the world, go to Google, type in my space IP space address and hit enter, and Google will return your actual IP address, and that's the IP address you want to give out to people. If you want to watch videos on how to make a web link, like we have minecraft.andrewthecrafter.com, and pointed to this IP address, there's plenty of other tutorials out there, but in this case I'm just going to show you how to do this local server. So we type that in, hit done, hit refresh, and let's see if we can connect to it. And we connected to it. Here's our server. And I'm going to show you. Let's see, let's walk around. Alright. So I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to show you on our server now, which this is no longer, Putty's no longer connected, so you don't have to look at that. I'm going to close that. And in Webmin, you're not going to be able to see much. But if you want, you can use this as a file server or a file explorer. So click on others, file manager, and go into your Minecraft folder, go into your logs, and you can see right here the latest log, and go ahead and double click on it. I've downloaded the latest log. Let's go ahead and open that. And you can see in here our server started, and this is where I just connected with Wild Adam 627. Now I'm not Wild Adam 627, but I know the account password, so I was able to log in with it to test this out. And as you can see here, I logged in from my IP address, which is 116. This port is irrelevant for your information. And you can see my entry ID is 270. Now, there is can't keep system. Now, this is an error message you'll see a lot. Ignore it. If you start having a lot of lagging problems and such, basically it's telling you, hey, your server's too slow, or hey, there's something wrong with it possibly. It's nothing major, but it's a good tool to troubleshoot with, so you can launch it from PuTTY and watch it. And as you have more people log in, you can watch them log in, and all of a sudden say, oh, my server's probably too slow, or I didn't set it up, or I need to tweak it. So that is it. So there's your Minecraft server. It's all local. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to shut it down. The best thing to do is just to go ahead and go to your PuTTY or wherever, and let's go ahead and log into it. This is the actual virtual box. So it's like just if you had a screen hooked up to the computer and you had the server installed, it's the same thing. Just type in sudo shutdown. There he goes. So it'll shut down here in about a minute. Post your comments in the comments section and show us your latest server. So if you figured out what your IP address is and you bought a domain name and you've figured out how to connect your domain name to your local server and you want us to hop on sometime and play, let us know. But most of all, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I really, really hope you got a lot out of this. Happy Minecrafting. And as Andrew the Crafter would say, bye!